Hello and welcome back to this video series where I'm going to challenge myself to make a commercial game for Steam for £50. Now, I had a little think yesterday about the length of time I think this would take, and obviously the idea initially was to record the whole thing and post it up as like tutorials slash, just development. But then I guessed it's going to take me around 100 hours maybe, or maybe a little bit more. And, with only like 15 minutes of video, that would end up being like 400 videos. So I don't think that would work. And also, a lot of it is just boring. I spent 2 or 3 hours today figuring out why my projectile wouldn't collide with the walls. It ended up being a really simple fix. So instead, what I'm going to do every day, every day that I'm working on this, I'm going to do a sort of like breakdown of the stuff that I've been working on. So in today's video, we're just going to have a look at some of the stuff that I've added. So I've created a very basic play space. Really, I just wanted to start having a look at the assets that I got with the pack. Also, I spent a lot of today updating this project to the newest engine version. So again, that wasn't very exciting to watch. So now we're in the newest. I don't know if it's the newest actually, but we're in 2.5 because these assets would only work in 2.5 or after. Right, so let me just show you what we've got, and then we can talk about it. So I think by the end of the last video, we had this working, so we had it colliding with him. But now you'll notice that the magic will actually collide with the walls and the floor. That's what I've spent most of today doing. So I'll just show you what the issue with that is. I had some code. Player magic projectiles. So I have some code that basically just checks to see if I'm colliding with anything. This blocking hit, this is just checking to see if we have hit anything at all. Okay, if we've hit anything at all, then spawn emitter and then destroy the actor. Why was that so difficult? Well, the issue was that I needed to place the sphere component that's doing the actual collision. I needed to drag it onto the root and make that the root of the blueprint. And that fixed my issue up nicely. But like I said, I spent a while figuring that out. Totally thinking I was, because this is pretty simple stuff. But yeah, that was the issue. The projectile just needed to have the collision as its root. So if you are struggling with the same thing, it's not because you're stupid and your code doesn't work. It's because you have to do that. And, you don't generally have to do that with Blueprint. So it can be a bit confusing. Right, what else have I done? So I've also started thinking about how we're going to use the 3 different wizard types. So you'll look now, I can toggle between 3 different wizards by just pressing number 1. And also each wizard has its own projectile. Okay, and they all are, but they're not. I thought I had that fixed, but they're not actually colliding with. But that should be a quick fix. So now actually I can show you what I mean. Look, I have already set it up, so why isn't it working? Oh, so this this is the problem. Here, so I can show you what I mean. So the sphere, which is the collision, you just drag that onto the root, and then that should work. So it was just in there that it wasn't working. Blue one's working. Purple one's working. Okay, so the green one is working, but it's oddly. That's odd. Oh, because it hasn't been given a location, so the location is the hit location. Okay, so I got to go over that a little bit with you. So green, yeah, all right, it's working now. All right, so I'm glad I got to show you that because that was a nightmare. So the idea with this, I think, is going to be that you will, as you go through, you will unlock these different costumes and different powers, and then you could swap between them in gameplay, something like that. let's just have a little look at the code for that if you're curious. So swap costumes is here. So I've just got a variable that's swap costumes. It's an integer, and every time I press a button, it changes the integer, so it adds 1 to it. And then we have a switch on integer, which I just set the material and then set the static mesh for the ones. And then down here, I check every tick. If it's equal to 0 and that's true, then because I had problems having it reset back to 0, so I am doing that here. And that's it. It's simple, really, really simple. Let's see if there's anything else that we've done. I don't think so. I think that's it. So what I'm going to have tomorrow, I'm going to do a build so that we can. I can start getting this out to people, and we can start testing it if you're interested. One of the big questions is how I'm going to do the actual combat, because right now this just lobbing this and having to eyeball it. It's not great. It's not actually too bad once you get used to it. You do actually get used to the range. Now, there's a couple of things we could do. We could just put a crosshair on the screen where the arc of it will go. So we could just, so the player will be able to aim. We'd move the camera up a little bit. We could have it so he locks on. So we set the camera rotation or the direction of the camera locked on to the enemy. And that way we'd be able to walk forwards and backwards and stuff. We'd also be able to set that up. But I think we need both, to be honest with you, because we're going to have some that lock on and some. Now we've got these different wizards set up. We can have different spells, and also right now each one has only got one spell. But we've got. Oh yes, I added a heal. I added. That's what I did. So now when you press heal, which is E, you take a potion and there's a particle effect that plays. And I don't think that's timed out perfectly yet. I think maybe we want that heal just to pop on just when it comes into his mouth. So let's have a little look at that. Maybe that's something we can do now. Use item. So we're setting the visibility of the potion. Now the potion is always in his hand, or it should be. Its visibility is off to start with, and then all I do is make it visible when we're drinking it. So we have a delay here of 2.5. So if we open up that animation, the heal animation, player animations, I think it's not heal, potion, this one. So let's have a little look. So this is the new updated animation editor that I've not actually played around with yet. So where's all the information that I need? Oh, so that's right. So I need it pop off about there. So after a second. So go back to the player BP, set that down to 1.5, and then Control CV to copy it, and then set this to 1. And then there wants to just be a second delay before we spawn in that, so that it looks like it hits as soon as he's drinking, not as soon as you press the button. Let's try that. Yeah, that works better. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, so the tomorrow is I'm going. So another thing I wanted to talk about in this one is how we're going to structure the project. Now, initially, I've just set up the character and I've just been messing around. But at some point, we're going to take this rat BP and we're going to rename this enemy parent, and then we're going to do childs of it so that all the enemies that don't fly or walk and attack will inherit from this. So that we are going to be actually structuring our project correctly and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. So I'll just play. There is actually no health in the enemies yet, or for the player. I'm going to actually set that up using Blackboard stuff. I don't think we're destroying the projectile when it hits him. So take damage. spawn mirror, and then destroy actor. Destroy actor, and the actor we want to destroy is this one. Oh, we can't do that. Maybe it's destroy component. Ah. And then do that twice, and that should work. No, that's not going to work. Because we obviously need to do it for that. Maybe we can just line them up like that, and then it'll just destroy any of them. Let's see. I don't think that's going to work. So hit him and it should destroy. Yep. No, it didn't. It went through him. All right. Well, I'll look at that later. Yeah. Yeah, that was never going to work, was it? Okay. So we'll have to think about how we're going to destroy that. We might just put a lifetime on it or something. I don't know. Access none trying to read call function spawn emitter return value. Okay. I'll have a look at that later. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this. Like I said, tomorrow we'll have a build for you, and I'll do some more work. Hopefully, we'll actually have a functioning enemy so that the combat is working. I think that's what I'm going to work on tonight, some of the enemy AI. So I've only really just started using like parents and child classes and that sort of stuff. So I want to know how far that extends. Can I set up all the AI on one character and then inherit all that stuff as well, or is the limit? Is it more just limited to sort of variables and things like that? So I'm gonna have a play around, see what we can get working, and then I'll just bust a heal just because we can. Yeah, I'm going to also add a sprint because it's super slow at the moment. In fact, let's see if we can get that. Because we've got a 15-minute video. Oh, that's wrong. Can we do it in 3 minutes? I reckon. So player blend space, and then let's get the run. Put that at 600. In fact, I'm going to put it at 500. So one more, so 6. I'm going to place it on 500 because it's too fast, but we can come back and play with it. Anyway, we're supposed to be quick here. And then all we need to do is go into the player BP. Just do input shift. We've got a function here for is shift down, left shift down. Let's have a look. Right, no, just do it fast. So input shift, left shift is pressed. Then we have a variable called sprint. When it's pressed, we set variable to be sprint to be true. I think we actually have to do this. It's just keeps me organized. And then what I do is I get the character movement and I set max, not fly speed, set max walk speed to 500. That will activate the running in the blend space. Okay. And then when I release shift, I'd actually do this on a click, not on a. I hate it when you have to hold down shift and run, and just like when you press it. Or it's more for a controller, to be honest with you. It's not too bad holding shift on a keyboard. And then copy this CB. Oh, CB, there we go. And plug that into there. This time its sprint is off and false. And then what is it, 300? But again, let's just go check where we transition. Check, yeah, transition at 300. So compile. Let's check it out. So I'm walking. Oh no. Yeah, that's it. So I'm hitting shift. I'm running. Still attack while we're doing that. But it. Oh no, that does. It's automatically set it to because we've got the blend space and the blend per bone. So yeah, there we go. So we just added a little sprint. I don't think I'm going to add stamina, but I'm going to add like mana. So every time you cast a spell, it'll take some of your mana, and then the advantage of swapping is that each character's mana is going to charge independently. Now, I say that I have no clue how I would do that, but that's the idea anyway. But I'm not sure. Maybe the enemies will drop like blue, green, and purple crystals, so that you as you're killing enemies, you're getting charged. That actually sounds like a cool idea. So we might go for that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one, where we'll be doing all that stuff. All right, see you in the next one.